Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. Thank you all for joining me. Well, here we go with the Trump derangement syndrome situation here. Apparently, a man in Chicago broke a couple of windows in the Trump Towers International. And here's his reasoning. He said the reason why he did it was because every time he sees Trump, it makes him want to do that. And he sees pictures of Trump, he sees images of Trump, he wants to go around and break windows in the Trump Towers. Let's get right into this article. And here's a picture of this guy, if you can see it. Hope you guys can see it. Yeah, this is crazy. A 21-year-old Chicago man told police that whenever he sees former President Donald Trump, it causes him to be violent. Yeah. The suspect, Andrew Briley, is accused of breaking windows at the Trump International Hotel and Tower during mental health episodes he suffered this year. Yeah, Trump derangement syndrome. That's an actual, I can't believe a psychiatrist actually created that as an actual condition, I think back in 2016. Unbelievable. But if I can remember, we're going to get into that. CWB Chicago reported on Tuesday, noting the damage due to the incidents reached $145,000. I'm pretty sure he can't afford that. An image shows the suspect in the case. On October 16th, he allegedly threw rocks, breaking 6 windows at the location on North Wabash. A security officer at the complex recognized the suspect, telling law enforcement he did the same thing on May 17th, the CWB Chicago article said, citing a police report. So this man's been doing this. He did this several times. Briley was later arrested at his home. A Chicago police supervisor noted in the report that Briley told officers that seeing Trump while having an episode, quote, makes him do it. Judge Dedry Dyer released Briley to await trial, the article said. You released him to await trial. You should have put him in jail. Because what if he does this to a person? Anyway, social media users commented on CWB Chicago report. One person writing, quote, and I like this one. As a Trump supporter in Chicago, I see Harris signs everywhere. Do I smash S and act like a little B? No. I think what an idiot, shake my head and live my best life. Think, what an idiot. I shake my head and live my best life. And he's like, in other words, look, these people are idiots for what they do, but look, I live my best life. I shake my head and I go and buy my business. But I'm not going to go and bust people's windows and all this kind of other dumb stuff. Another person said, toxic Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, of course. Authorities have charged Briley with 2 counts of criminal damage between $10,000 and $100,000. This is all I'm going to read right there. Yeah, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. But I wanted to just, read something on there to let you guys know that there's some people like that out there. This is a shame. This is a sad situation. Going back to this whole Trump derangement syndrome thing, I found out that actually, when I first heard about the Trump derangement syndrome debacle, I thought it was a joke. I really thought it was a joke. But what I came to find out was that that's an actual condition that psychiatrists have created, I think, since 2016 or sometime later. A little time later, due to people being upset with Trump being in office, and it's an actual condition. It's not a joke. It's not a mockery. It's an actual condition. Now, my question is this: I'm not no medical doctor. I'm not no psychiatrist. But what I understood about diseases and mental illnesses, they came from other situations. How can you have mental illness based on a person? Is amazing to me. It's absolutely amazing. You hear about somebody that you don't like, you see someone you don't like, and it affects you in such a way that you go around breaking windows, you go around assaulting people, you just can't stand this person to the point where you get depressed, you scream, ah! I've seen pictures of people screaming when they found out Trump in office. It's screaming at the top of their lungs at the sky, looking like demon possessed. I don't know. It's just terrible. And the question inevitably is, since this is an actual disease, right? An actual mental disorder, if you will, what caused it? Is it in their DNA? Is it in their genes? No. I tell you what caused Trump derangement syndrome. The mainstream media. is the main culprit of this bull crap. Before Trump got in office, what happened? Was there Trump derangement syndrome there? I'll wait. Anyone with eyes to see and the brain to kind of think, you don't have to have a full brain to think completely, just kind of think. You know good and well there was no Trump derangement syndrome before he became president. Everybody was all on the man, jocking it over. What's up, baby? You know, it's all good. Thugs is all on him. Rappers is all on him. Everybody, talk show hosts is all on him. Even Whoopi Goldberg was chilling with him, you know, saying she was liking him. Now all of a sudden, he becomes president. Everybody goes crazy. Trump derangement syndrome all of a sudden takes over. Where do you think that came from? You think Trump had some kind of energy emanating from his body when he became president that began to affect the psychological, the neurons and the sparks in the people's brains, the neurons, the connectors that connect their neurons together, that send information from one neuron to the next neuron? Do you think that some kind of energy force flowed from Trump's body when he became president and affected these people all over the country to get what is called Trump derangement syndrome? Man, give me a break. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. To me, in my opinion, it's clear why people are suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. The mainstream media pumps people's heads full of hate towards this man. Before he was president, there was no hate. You may have had some people that didn't like him and stuff because he was super rich and they was jealous and hating on him in that sense. But that's their issue. That's their issue. They need to get their act together. We talking about some real stuff here, okay? But afterwards, but for the most part, people didn't, they didn't dislike him. He was cool. Now all of a sudden, he's the mainstream media. The mainstream media. It's not, to me, it's not brain surgery. It's not brain surgery. Everybody, and I've heard people say this. They said, well, I've had family members tell me, well, I didn't like him before he became president. I didn't like him anyway. I hate when people tell me that. I hate when I say, okay, what did you think about Trump before he became president? Well, I didn't like him anyway. You are lying. The truth ain't in you. Don't insult my intelligence. Because all of a sudden, even if the person didn't like Trump because he was rich, a white rich man, billionaire, okay, even if you didn't like him then, you didn't have the hate in your heart that you have in your heart now. That hate comes from the mainstream media, calling him a racist, calling him a fascist, calling him Hitler, and all this other stuff over and over and over and over and over and over and over again in the minds of unstable, brain dead people. I'm just telling you like it is. That's just my opinion. If people have Trump derangement syndrome, there was nothing up there to begin with. It couldn't have been. It couldn't have been anything up there, okay, to begin with, to basically ward off or at least have some kind of wall to gate off common sense with stupidity. But I don't think a lot of these people had any of that. There was nothing up there. A person, in my opinion, that suffers from so-called Trump derangement syndrome, I can't talk. There's no way. What you going to do with a person like that other than pray for them, that God deliver their mind? Because you can't talk with them. You can't have a conversation with them. What are you going to talk about? Movies or anything? I mean, I don't think I would even want to talk about movies with this person. I want to be nowhere around a person like that, because a person like that has Trump derangement syndrome, no telling what they might do if they find out that I support Trump, or rather support his policies. God almighty. Now, I'm not the kind of person that walks around with hats, mega hats and all this kind of stuff, because I'm not into that. I'm not into people like that. I'm into policies and what they stand for. I support that. If they stand for something that I personally agree with, that it's in alignment with my own personal values, I support them, okay? But God forbid, you have more people. Imagine a country with 1,000 people like this man in one city. And there's 1,000 people with so-called Trump derangement syndrome in one city acting like this man here. And imagine if he was to see, if these 1,000 or so Trump derangement syndrome zombies are walking around in this city, whatever city that may be, Chicago, Cleveland, whatever, and then they see someone with a mega hat on or some kind of shirt with Trump's face on it or whatever. Imagine what could possibly happen. Imagine. So this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at people like this are dangerous. They're the ones dangerous. The mainstream, this is why people got to listen to what the mainstream media be doing, man. I'm telling you, the mainstream media is lying to you. The mainstream media will sit up here and fart and poot and snot about conservatives and Trump being terrorists and Nazis and all this other kind of stuff. And yet conservatives and Trump have yet to show how Nazi-ized they can be. They have yet to show how dangerous they can be. But when it comes to the radical left, when it comes to people with Trump derangement syndrome, what do these nutbags do? Breaking windows, assaulting people, tearing up property. Stop it. Just stop it, man. The truth is the truth, man. The truth is the truth. How you gonna deny? How you gonna deny? It's looking right in people's face, man, and they don't see it. That amazes me. But then again, it doesn't amaze me. It doesn't amaze me because once again, let me calm down. I'm getting triggered. Once again, it's all mind control. I know how the mainstream media works, and they doing it good. They working it, baby. They working it. They working it. Mainstream media, I hand it to them. I'll give them that credit. They working it. They working the minds of the public. Trump derangement syndrome. Get out of here. These people are poisoned by the mainstream media. The mainstream media needs to be completely eradicated. I won't say completely. Let me take that back before this video can take down. But they really need to assess what they do. Like one YouTuber said, reporters and journalists on the mainstream media have sold out. They have sold their souls. And I agree. I have to agree with that assessment. Many of the reporters and journalists on the mainstream media have sold their soul. For that money, and they get a lot of money, and I've looked that up. For the money, and they get a lot of it, they'll say anything. They'll push anything. Hey, guys, I'm getting $10,000 a week, $100,000 a week. And I'm not exaggerating that. I was reading somewhere where it's actually documented that some of these people get like almost close to, it would be an equivalent of $100,000 a week or a little less than that, but still. $50,000 a week, you can break it down to $50,000 a week. That's more than what a lot of people get a year. And you getting it a week. Imagine the corporation that you work for as a journalist or reporter, and you working for this corporation, this news source, and they say we're going to pay you, your salary is $50,000 a week or every other week or whatever. You know, after taxes. Let's just say after taxes. What would you do? But they say, let me slow down here. But they say we want to want to give you the script. This is what we want you to say, and this is what we want you to do. You can ad lib every now and then, say some of your stuff, some of the stuff, but it's got to stay in line with what we're trying to, the agenda we're trying to push, the narrative we're trying to push to the American people. So you can say some stuff every now and then, but for the most part, stick to this agenda. And you getting $50,000 net, okay, every week or every other week. What would you do? So in that sense, I kind of can see I can kind of see it. It's like, man, I'm getting a lot of money just to push hatred towards Trump. Even though when I leave out of this news station and I walk the streets at night and I go home and I see people acting crazy and I see this Trump derangement syndrome thing going on, people acting crazy, going around breaking windows because they say that Trump made me do it. And I see people being assaulted for, wearing mega hats and stuff like that. I don't know, I don't know, but but at $50,000 a week, man, that's just a lot of money. And I worked hard to get here. I studied and I labored and I read. And now that I've graduated with my journalist degree or whatever, and reporter degree, a journalist degree, in journalism, I'm here and I'm getting paid good money, man. I'll go ahead and push it. I'll go ahead and do that. No big deal. In a sense, that person has sold their souls for money. Because the things that they're doing and pushing is wrong. It's ethically wrong and it's morally wrong. Because Trump is none of that nonsense. And his supporters are none of that. The facts and the evidence don't line up with reality. It doesn't. I don't care what nobody say. Period. Bottom line. It doesn't line up with reality. So these people have sold out. But once again, we got somebody here doing this type of stuff. Breaking windows and saying and blaming Trump and saying when he sees Trump, it makes him do it. Think about that for a moment. Think about 1,000 people like that in your city. Think about 1,000 people like that in every liberal city, and even so-called conservative red cities or states, whatever. You have just 1,000 people like that, and they're willing to damage and deface property. What do you think they will do or try to do to people who wear mega hats and clothes with Trump's pictures on. I'm just saying, this person needs help. He really, really, really needs help. But once again, unfortunately, he's another one of these mind-controlled, brainwashed individuals that have been pumped full of lies from the mainstream media about Trump and his followers, and that's all I can see here. He needs help. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys. What do you guys think about this? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. God bless you all. I'll see you again.